without a tie. Montague Pilkington was flying over the desert one day when the engine of his little plane suddenly broke down. The plane then suddenly started to drop out of the sky, nose first. Down it went towards the desert and crashed into the sand. Fortunately for Montague, the sand was quite soft. But the plane was a complete wreck. Montague Pilkington climbed out of his plane and looked around him. There was nothing here but the sand and sky. He started walking in a direction he thought might go towards a town or village. But quite honestly, he didn't know where he was going. The sun was hot. It was midday. It was in the 40s. Or perhaps in the 50s. He had no food and no water. And water in the desert when it's that hot is very important if you want to stay alive. Several hours went by, and Montague just walked and walked, trying to go in one direction. But he was by now very thirsty. Then, suddenly, he thought he saw something in the distance, a shape moving. Could it be a mirage? A mirage. But this shape was getting bigger because it was coming towards him. And then he could make it out. A man on a camel. The man was coming towards him quite quickly. Soon, the man came up to Montague on his camel. He was a very elegant-looking man wearing flowing gowns. And he had a long beard. And curiously, he had a suitcase. Good day. How are you? Perhaps you would like to buy a tie. And he opened a suitcase, and indeed, inside were a number of ties. Montague could hardly speak. He was so thirsty and his throat was so dry. Give me a water. Water. Please. I'm dying. I need water. Ah. I don't have any water. But I have some lovely ties. I have green ones and blue ones and pink ones and purple ones. I have striped ones and checked ones. Or I have ties with little polka dots on them. Would you like to buy a tie? Montague couldn't understand. He couldn't believe his bad luck. He had actually met somebody in the desert, and he didn't have any water. And he wanted to sell him a tie. You silly man. Can't you see? I need water. Just give me water. I'm very sorry. I have no water, said the man. And he put his ties away back in a suitcase and closed it up and said goodbye and rode off into the distance. Montague trudged on. Then suddenly, in the distance, he saw something white. Another mirage. He walked towards it. And little by little, the white thing got bigger and bigger. And then he saw, in fact, it was hotel, a beautiful hotel right in the middle of the desert. It was such a luxurious hotel. That's just what he needed. Oh, thank God for that, he thought, and he went down on his knees and he said, Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you for sending me this hotel. He got up and trudged on, and eventually arrived at the door of the hotel. He was really on his last legs. Montague knocked at the door of the beautiful white hotel. Almost immediately, a man opened the door, looking very elegant in a jacket. He was wearing a nice shirt and tie. Good evening, sir. Can I help you? Montague said, Just let me in. Let me in, please. And the man said, I'm sorry, sir. But you can't come in here without a tie.